So it's time for another Arts and Culture Hot Top 10. I'm joined by Jessi Fraser, and she's ready, I can see. I must point out, I've given Jessi absolutely no warning of what to expect here, and which is great fun. Jessi, thank you so much for joining me for this one.
Thanks for having me. It'll be fun.
My pleasure. As people will spot behind you, you're of an artistic inclination, which is fantastic. Creative polymath, I think I described you as. You've got more experience and expertise across different arts and culture disciplines and art forms than anyone I've met recently. So I think that's fantastic, and it's great that you're helping others enjoy and benefit from that with your workshops. It's fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to ask you for your favorite in 10 categories, and if you have a reason why, then do please let me know. If you don't have a favorite, you could think of the last one, or you could throw it back at me. Okay, so your first question is, do you have a favorite building?
A favorite building? You know, I just went to the St. Paul Cathedral for the first time last year. I'd never been there, and it is astoundingly beautiful. And to live my whole life in the city and never go there and see it was kind of weird. But I took a day to just do things that I'd never done before in town, and that was one of them. And that's probably my favorite building right now currently, because it's just so beautiful, and the sculpting and the statues just magnificent. So yeah.
Is it a recent building? Is it modern, or has it been around for a while?
It's been around for a while. I don't know when it was built, honestly, but it was probably one of the first main big buildings in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's fairly old, I assume, but it's beautiful. Very well done.
Love that one. You won't be surprised, I haven't had that one on this before, which is great for me because I can go and have a look, which is great. I've had 2 Grand Central stations. That happened twice, but I love that. So
cool too.
Now the next question is, do you have a favorite book?
My current favorite book. Actually, it's not my current favorite book, but my favorite book of all times would probably be The Power of Love, which I know sounds kind of corny, but it's a really good book, and it's short, and you can kind of burn through it pretty quick, but there's a lot of really insightful things in it that make you think about how you present yourself and how to look at the world a little differently. I like it.
Do you recall who the author was?
James Van Prang. It's right here.
That's proof that that's your favorite book. It's brilliant.
Have it right here.
There it is. Power of Love. That's nice. Connecting to the oneness. Love that. James Van Prang. Right, got it. Excellent. That reminds me of something I learned about Ernest Hemingway. He was once challenged. I believe this is true. It may be a tale that grew in the telling. But he was once challenged to write a novel with only 6 words that could make you cry. And he did it. He did it. The 6 words were: for sale, baby's shoes, never worn.
Yeah,
I think it might have been a bet. I bet you can't make me cry in 6 words. I mean, just absolute genius. You know, I'm a big fan of brevity, so that appeals to me. That was great. Anyway, I digress. Now, do you have a favorite dancer or dance group?
Oh, you know, I don't. What's yours? That's the one thing
You're going to throw that back. That the moment there is always a moment. I remember in 1987, I was watching the Eurovision Song Contest from Dublin in Ireland, and the halftime show was Riverdance. and it was the first time it had ever been seen on television. And it was Michael Flatley and I think Jean Bott. Jean, can't remember, the two leads. And I remember watching it and thinking, my Lord, this is so clever, because most of us who don't know anything about Irish dance can't really tell if somebody's doing it well unless 50 of them are doing it all at the same time, right? There's something about synchronization like that that allows us to understand that something is being done particularly well. It was just absolutely spot on. And I said to my wife at the time, I said, wow, there is a show in that. There's a full show in that. And the producer of that Eurovision, she left RTE, which was the TV show company she was working with, and set up a company to turn this thing that had just been seen by millions around the world into a production. And to my eternal frustration, if you'd invested £10,000 in that company at the time, you would probably have taken out £100,000 every year since, and that was 1987. I mean, you put £10,000 in and you never have to work a day in your life. So that would be my favorite. I loved that. I thought it was just brilliant. I often watch it, the replays of that. So
that's actually kind of big here. We have a really large Irish population in Minneapolis, and Irish dancing is a thing.
Oh yeah.
So I know what you're talking about, and I've definitely experienced it quite a bit. My boss actually used to do Irish dancing when she was younger, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So that would be mine. When people throw this back at me, it's always different. I'll choose somebody else next time. So but that's the privilege of being the one who asks the questions. So okay, so this one's quite tricky. I want you to assume that you've been expelled from the United States, as you've I don't know what you've done, but they don't want you there anymore. Okay. Or you've decided to leave. You've been exiled one way or the other, and you can choose any country in which to live. I think I might know where this is going, based on its culture.
Okay.
Where would you choose to live?
Based on its culture. Ooh, that's a rough one. You know, I'll be honest. I would love to. I've never been there, but I have strong ties culturally to my heritage, to Scotland. So it might be kind of fun to just move to Scotland for a while and see what that was like.
That's a lovely idea. I did wonder if you were going to opt for the Philippines, having spent time there recently.
You know, the contrast there is a little too rough for me, I think, but the beauty of the place is great, and it is very affordable, but it's real hot. It's really hot.
Scotland isn't, by the way.
Nope, it's not. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you go to Scotland. You can go and live in Scotland. That would be
okay. Cool.
You'll be up in the Hebrides or the Island Skye, painting and teaching. There we go.
There you go.
Now, as a spectator or a participant, do you have a favorite sport?
As a participant, I would say swimming. I was a huge swimmer, and I actually taught little kids swimming lessons on my creative hiatus. I took a creative hiatus for 3 years, which really wasn't a hiatus because I was teaching kids how to swim, and you have to kind of be on your feet and creative in that aspect to make it fun. But that was really great, and I love competitive swimming. I don't know why, but I love it. And spectating is a little different. Maybe roller derby is my that's the funnest sport that I watch is roller derby.
What is that?
It's a bunch of chicks on roller skates, and they're
you got me at chicks.
there is a bunch of chicks on roller skates, and I'm not going to be able to define like rules or anything, but
I guess they
they
go
go
around a
around a
track.
thing, and yeah, um, and it's a little aggressive, but it is fun, and it's kind of like you have to get, it's like a race,
Yeah.
and it gets physical, so but it's fun, and everybody has their own little personas, and they make a character, and it's really entertaining.
That's lovely. That's
Yeah.
the surprise answer I was hoping for. I wasn't going, I didn't have you down for that, but I love that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, now this is cruel. I'm going to limit you. I'm going to limit you to one musical genre for the rest of your life.
Oh, that is cruel. That's very cruel. I love music, all kinds of music. But if I had to listen to one genre the rest of my life, I don't even know if I could do that. You know, maybe it would probably have to be acid jazz, right? Because that has kind of a mixture of hip hop and jazz, and it gets funky, and some of them are like slow and some of them are fast, and you could kind of you could work it out with acid jazz. Yeah, I would say acid jazz.
Okay, love that. I haven't had that one before either. That's brilliant. Do you have a favorite visual artist?
Salvador Dali.
That was easy. That was easy.
Yeah, I was introduced to him when I was very young. My dad was really into him, and my dad was, the backdoor philosopher guy. So when I was very young, he has a book, a Dali book, and he would show me the illusion pages where they look like different things depending on how far away you were.
Mm.
And he really heavily instilled into my life that everything is perspective. However you look at it and from what angle you look at it will be um, how you perceive it, right? And so Dali has been one of those pinnacle artists in my life where this is how I look at my life in general. Like, you can look at life from very many perspectives and interpret it however it is relative to you, or you can decide to change how you're looking at a situation to make it better, and it really has been a huge thing my entire life because of that. So
that's great. I love that. Nearly there. Do you have a favorite play or musical?
oh, I've actually this is kind of like embarrassing to say this, but I've only seen two shows. I saw Miss Saigon and I saw Phantom of the Opera, and both of them were fabulous. Miss Saigon was really actually kind of fun. So I would say out of the two that I've seen personally, that would be my favorite. Overall, what I know of, yeah, I don't know. It would have to be Miss Saigon, I guess.
Okay, Miss Saigon's fine. I've seen it as well.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And how about a favorite film?
Oh, this is equally like music, where do you have to pick a favorite, really? Because there's so many.
Is there a movie, for example, that you can watch over and over and you'll enjoy it every time and find more things in it?
I mean, I have guilty pleasure movies like that. Because you have the profound movies that are like, oh, and they just hit you, but it's hard to watch those multiple times, at least for me. But like the guilty pleasure movies, you can watch a million times. And I think I have one that I've watched, and this is also a little embarrassing, but it was when I was younger. I watched it 120 sometimes, and it was due to having a summer with no cable TV. but I never got sick of it, and I could tell you the movie forwards and backwards. At least I used to be able to. I probably can't now, but it was
Great. I might. Can I? This is fun. I'm going to have to try and guess what this is. Right.
okay.
Right. So you can give me slight clues. Okay. Was it a comedy?
It was a comedy. Based
Was
in
it? It's what? Sorry.
based in New York.
Based in New York, and you watched it when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Is it Trading Places?
No. It's not like a chick flick. It's not like
Okay. It's not The Goonies.
No, but that is a good one as well. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
they're
I'm out.
pinnacle musics or pinnacle movies from childhood, right?
Yeah.
So it was
What was
Ghostbusters. It was Ghostbusters.
Oh, I should have had that one.
Ghostbusters. I am a huge Bill Murray fan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Groundhog Day. I mean, it's just
It's hilarious.
Fantastic. And what's the one where they're professional bowlers, and he has the comb over?
What is the name of that movie?
Do you remember? It's Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
And he finds this Amish guy who's a really good bowler. Do you remember?
I remember the movie. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Yeah. Barbara Bach. I think it was Barbara Bach as well.
That's a really funny movie. Kingpin. That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to watch that tonight while I'm working. My favorite bit, because I watched that when I was much younger, was where she goes to get beers out of the fridge and turns around and she hasn't got a bra on, and you can imagine she walked into the fridge and comes out. That was that's my guilty pleasure moment in the movie.
Okay. Yeah, no,
I'm allowed that one.
Yep.
Okay, so finally, for the moment, apart from me, who was the last person to make you laugh?
My son.
Love
my
it.
16-year-old son. We sat on the deck yesterday and talked for probably 3 hours, and we were laughing pretty good. So
that's great. I have a favorite moment with my daughter when she was tiny. She's 22 now, but we were lying in bed on a Sunday morning, staring at a very white ceiling, and she said, "Let's play I Spy." And I thought, "Are you kidding me?" Right. And she said, "I'll go first." And I said, "Fine. I spy with my little eye something beginning with you." And I was like this. Okay. And she wouldn't tell me. And eventually I said, "No, I give in." And she said, "Us."
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's there you go. There's the Buddhist philosophy of Shoshan, approaching that's a child at work, because we've got old, and when we play I Spy, we think it's something that we've got to be able to see, something out there.
Outside, yeah. Instead of inside. Yeah, no.
Jessi, thank you so much for doing this. We all know you better now, which is lovely. Thank you very much for that. Some surprises in there, and we'll do the this or that game in a moment. But in the meantime, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.